Hello, Old School Gamer 1971 here. Greetings one and all, especially to you Millie and Lloyd. Today my third hour thoughts is on Valkyria Chronicles. I've been playing this game for over 3 hours and this is what I think. So Valkyria Chronicles by Sega. It's a tactical RPG. Came out on the PlayStation 3 in 2008 and PlayStation 4 in 2016. It is set in a fictional continent called Europa. A neutral nation comes under fire by the Eastern Imperial Alliance. This reminds me a lot of a mashup of Nazis and Romans. It's kind of like World War II conflict with Darksons replacing the Jewish people. It is very well thought out. You play as Welkin Gunther. He had a father who was a great war general in the last war. Welkin, however, is an artist who studies nature. He gets dragged into the war when his village is attacked. He follows in his father's footsteps and enlists into the Gallian army. The running demo before the title screen starts up and it shows you a lot of what's to come. It tells you how the war started. It is pretty much World War II. The game starts up to families leaving town. By the stream stands Welkin looking at the fish. He starts to draw the fish. He is the protagonist. The town watch happen along, led by Alicia, Welkin's later love interest. This is a pretty good scene. It introduces us to the characters. This game has cutscenes you have to watch and some you don't. The opening scene is a great way to start this great game.
So, I'm wondering what you've been writing in that little book you've got.
Okay, for a start, it's a bit like Cogs of War, a 3D Worms if you would. The game is very combat orientated. You have CP, command points. This is how many turns you have in a round. If you take out ranked enemies, they get less turns. Tanks take up more turns to use but deal a lot more damage. You should, when possible, always try and leave your troops under cover. You can use the same troop multiple times in a round, but they have less movement each time that you use them. Once an AP bar is used up, you can no longer move. However, if you've not used an action on your turn, you can either fire, heal, repair or grenade. Enemies will lay down suppressing fire, as do your troops in the enemy's turn. So sometimes you can take down one troop and then put them into a position to take out another troop on the next turn. There are many tactics to employ in this game.
My turn, okay?
The atmosphere gripped me and has never let go. The background music just fits. The look likewise adds to this game's overall charm. With main characters and troops, many of which are likeable. The plot, as said, is pretty much the Second World War. But it's not just the plot, it's the little things, the stories, the interactions that add to the overall atmosphere. When the war comes to brawl, it looks impressive, but at the same time you feel bad for the townfolk. Well, I did. You watch the story unfold. They capture land, town and strategic point alike. I found I wanted to take them all back. By the 4th chapter I was invested. I wanted every soldier to come back. I would try to save every downed trooper. As if an opponent makes it to a body before you do, or if it bleeds out, then you've lost that troop. It's the first game in a long time that made me care about my party and hate the enemy. I talked something about the combat earlier, however that only really scratched the surface. With weapons, armour, grenades and tank options to both find and upgrade, there are many different loadouts. You can train your troops. This opens up different skills for each of your troops. All of this helps in combat and makes it varied. Troops can leave suppressing fire and cover fire as per allowed. This makes combat both tactical and taxing, many times having to think outside the box, especially in later levels. With skirmishes you can get those tactics down. Many times I was left scratching my head, a few times making me change up my tactics and my loadout. I like the art style, the almost pastel watercolour effect. It fits in with the style of game almost perfectly. The PS4 version is a vast improvement over the PS3. Sometimes it looks like a work of art almost background wise. The transition from cutscene to combat, the graphics carry over in both style and quality. I know for some the graphics are not realistic enough. I say this, give the game a chance, it has such depth. I find they fit the game perfectly.
Take a good look at that show. See the dark side, and that explains it. I thought this place stunk. Now I know it does.
The sound, well, the shooting, explosions and tank noises sound fine. It's the music, however. It sounds epic when the scene calls for it, yet in the background in other scenes, as well as a sort of military feel to it. In short, the music and sound add to the atmosphere big time. My only little niggle is the voiceover. Sometimes it's a little sketchier in the lesser characters. Not exactly game breaking, but it is my only negative. So is it interesting after 3 hours? I love this game on PS3 and I love it now. Technically the game is sound and challenging. It has lovable characters and enemies for you to hate. 3 hours didn't seem long enough. Now if only they'd released the second and third entry as a remaster. So that about wraps it up. Hope you all have a good day. And if this has been helpful in any way, like, subscribe, share or comment. Let me know what you think. Old School Gamer 1971 signing off.